guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show for Friday, August 27th, 2021. Welcome to another eBay video. Tonight's main topic is feedback extortion on eBay. How to recognize it, how to deal with it, and how to respond. I am going to show you an actual case that occurred last weekend involving myself, where I was a victim of feedback extortion. I'll be doing some exposing later in the video, but for now, we're going to start out by talking about your comments, questions, and concerns. I also want to talk more about returns off eBay and buyers leaving unfair negative feedback, because this is a freaking epidemic this year. Starting with your comments, questions, and concerns on eBay showing our listings, eBay showing our competition's listings to our customers after they purchase from us. Phoenix, the reseller, L1R wrote, "There was a time when you could opt out of other listings being shown after your sale. I remember opting out. I don't know if it still stands or if the option is easily seen or available. I always thought that was the dumbest thing ever. When I was only a buyer, like they were laughing at me after I purchased something. Or is that just my perception?" I believe, Phoenix, what you're talking about is the cross-promotion feature, which, yes, we used to be able to opt out of. That really has nothing to do with what's going on right now. eBay is just doing this, I don't know why, but it's very unfair to sellers, especially when we're paying serious money per month to rent an eBay store. On cancellations, Shelley McDonald wrote, "Does eBay make more money on a buyer cancellation from the seller? And eBay encourages this by displaying cheaper items after they buy the item? This means eBay is taking advantage of its sellers." Returns outside of eBay. 5797029, Mike wrote, "On the subject of returns outside of eBay, I have one here right now. I'm waiting for the buyer to contact me before I open it and refund him. It has been sitting here for 3 years, unopened, and no refund has been issued." And Biscuit Butt replied to him and said, "Major thumbs up." And I would like to jump on that topic just for a minute if I can. You may remember in last week's video, I told you I had 2 returns off eBay in 1 week. That is freaking scary. I opened them to see what they were, and there were notes with each of them, and I had asked you guys to guess what the first old man had written to me. It was 2 words. And I think I actually revealed those 2 words in the video, but it seemed as though some people didn't hear those 2 words and were taking guesses. Well, in case you didn't hear what the 2 words were, he said, "Call me." And I am not calling anybody. If the guy's lonely, he can go out and get a dog or get married. I don't care. I'm not calling him. Nothing. I didn't yell. Nothing will be done off eBay as long as I live, okay? So I've got those 2 returns, which I opened to see what they were, and I will never give those people back any money unless they do the return through eBay. On a related topic, guess what happened again this week? I'm telling you something, these things go in cycles. But this one's a little different. A person purchased a $20 alloy wheel center cap, got the cap, and wrote to me through the contact system and said, "This is the wrong size. I'm returning it and I would like a refund." They didn't open a refund request. They say they just want me to give them a refund. Now, if they do return it to me, I'm considering writing to them and telling them the correct way to do it through eBay, but I will not give them a refund unless they open that refund return through eBay. eBay makes it so simple. I don't understand what's going on. More on returns. Duncan VR wrote, "Jeepers, I'm glad I don't get returns and have to deal with fishy buyers like you get. Sounds like a big headache in eBay Motors." Very true, and as I mentioned in the last few videos, there is a Facebook group devoted solely to eBay Motors. I have gotten a few of you guys in the group. You have no idea. I mean, you think I have problems? You should see what these other people have. They put me to shame. Buyers cursing at them, threatening them, using the F word all the time, blaming them for all the mistakes that are made by the buyer. Guys, if you sell an eBay Motors, contact me at crazynewyorkdriver@aol.com if you want to be in this eBay Motors Facebook group. It's private. You're not getting in unless somebody puts you in. But let me tell you something. It's well worth it. Mike, I know you sell on eBay Motors, 579-7029. If you have Facebook, you need to be in this group. You should see some of the crazy stuff that was just posted today alone. On Motors returns, Mike also wrote in with a long comment, but it's good. "Joe, I've been experiencing the same problematic returns you've been getting. The latest was a two-piece grill, upper and lower. The buyer purchased the lower one. He sends a message that what he received was not what he wanted. I asked what it was that he needed. He said the upper one. I said, you got the one you ordered. He opened a not as described return. So now I have messages proving it's buyer's remorse. We common sellers that don't have access to concierge customer service and have to try to explain this to the farmed out reps, eBay is making it more difficult for us to even speak to anyone about simple matters. It took me almost 10 minutes just to find the call me feature today. They keep changing the rabbit hole we have to go down. One day it's here and the next day it's way over there. Try bypassing concierge next time to see how the rest of us contact eBay. Even eBay for Business on Facebook doesn't always have an answer. Some of them appear to be clueless also. Mike, you mentioned that you found the call me feature a couple of times when you searched around for it. I'm really surprised because to my understanding, only people with concierge service could find that button. Mike, do you have concierge service? Now, I mean, that's great if you do, but I never thought you did. And if you don't, you also mentioned eBay for Business through Facebook. Those are usually pretty good representatives on that. They usually have their act together. Once in a while, you may get a turd. It happens. I get that. But like I say, concierge first, eBay for Business second, everything else third. Later, I'm going to work into the conversation why you should never call concierge or any eBay representative on the weekends. You're going to want to know about that. Gary the Coin Guy wrote in about freight forwarders. He's using the name ZXC. I canceled the sale about 10 days ago because it appeared the buyer was using a freight forwarder in Texas near the Mexican border to evade paying customs fees. The buyer is registered in Mexico. I called customer service in the USA and the woman refused to remove the feedback, just a comment. I then contacted eBay for Business, which removed the negative within an hour or two. A lot of CS reps, no matter where they're located, do not know the buyer loses their right to leave feedback when using a freight forwarder, just as you said, Joe. Also, the automatic form to get the feedback removed does not work. I filed it last Tuesday and it's still pending 4 days later after the feedback was removed by eBay for Business on Facebook. Gary touched on a bunch of good points there. I'm going to try and cover all of them as quickly as I can because we're talking a half an hour tonight, folks, or maybe even longer. Gary said the feedback removal form does not work, and those are facts. I mentioned this a few weeks ago. Please, guys, do not try the automatic automated feedback removal form. It doesn't work. I'm saying this right here. Number 2, Gary mentioned that when he called customer service, they were willing to remove the negative comment, but not the negative rating. That is just freaking ridiculous. Let me explain why. I know what the person said in Gary's negative comment because he told me. I'm not going to mention it here on this video, but it was something very nasty. If a buyer writes something very nasty that eBay deems worth removing, don't you think that's violating eBay policy? And don't you think the whole comment should be removed and the rating, because it shows that the buyer is just a freaking screwball? This is an antiquated policy that goes back to the early days of eBay. I can't tell you how many times during the early days I would click onto a person's feedback, see a negative, a red dot, with the words, "This comment has been removed by eBay." So you know that the buyer said something terrible they should never have said, but yet their negative rating is allowed to remain, and I feel that's just plain wrong. Gary also made the point of saying that people who use freight forwarders lose their ability to leave negative feedback. I said that in last week's video because that's been a long-standing policy on eBay. However, something very interesting happened last week. Daniel Scales wrote in with a comment that I'd like to share with you guys right now. Daniel wrote, "I had talked to a higher level CR in the USA. He confirmed that freight forwarders now can indeed leave a negative feedback. I had a case like that. Headlight arrived damaged to Ukraine. Buyer from Ukraine who had it shipped through the freight forwarder left a negative feedback. eBay dedicated customer service rep refused to remove it, saying that there is no grounds for removal. Lately, eBay changed their policies towards removal of negative feedback. Oftentimes, they refuse it, while in the past, they have removed it with no problem. Regarding final value fees, there are at least 2 scenarios where eBay will not credit to the seller. Number 1, cases, something you mentioned in last week's video. And number 2, on returns where sellers make any deductions on the buyer's refund. Now, Daniel here just came out with 3 facts that I never knew. The one fact I do know is correct. What he said about cases, I talked about this last week. If someone opens a case against you, even if it's erroneous, you're screwed. You're not getting your final value fees back. If you sell a customer a green sweater, they get it, and they say, not as described, open a case, and write in the comments, I really wanted a blue sweater, you lose, okay? Why? Because eBay automatically believes every single buyer when they open an item not as described claim. This is important, guys. And the other thing Daniel mentioned, if you make any deductions, if you get the item back, you sent it out brand new, and the buyer opened it and looked at it, and you deduct, let's say 50%, you will not get your final value fees back. But that pales in comparison to what Daniel said about eBay changing their policies about allowing buyers who use freight forwarders to leave negative feedback. Daniel stated that he spoke to a high-level customer service representative. Now, I believe what Daniel is saying. I believe everything he said. I believe he did talk to the guy, and I do believe the customer service representative told him that. But to my knowledge, eBay has not made this public. One way or the other, to my knowledge, they have not come out and said that they've changed their way of doing business with freight forwarders. So for the moment, unless any of you guys have a link you can direct us to, let's push this topic off to the side for a few weeks till I get some more information on this, okay? It's like if I call customer service rep A, they'll say one thing. And tomorrow I call rep B, they'll say something else. So I'm really not sure what's going on here with that. Dennis Copper wrote in about a horrible race to the bottom. It appears to me when good sellers play this low offers game, they are getting bottom feeders. Nothing but trouble on eBay. I prefer good buyers that flash the money right away and pay before I could even say cottage cheese. They pay and I never hear a blip from them, unless they come back for more gravy. I have to agree with Daniel because oftentimes when people send me an unsolicited best offer and I lower the price and they get the item, trouble brews. I told you about a story last week, remember? So that's why I'm really not sending out that many best offers, at least not for a while. The last comment I want to read is from Jason Neal. Wow, I bet you've saved hundreds of dollars on sunscreen. Jason, I can look you in the eye and tell you, right hand to Christ, I have never bought sunscreen in my life. I mean it. Never. I've never had to. Okay? Now, that being said, we have a few main topics tonight. I want to jump right into the story that happened to me regarding feedback extortion. This is a true story that happened to me. So we're going to do a cutaway to some screenshots, and please watch the screen for the next 7 or 8 minutes while I discuss this case. Now guys, we're going to talk about feedback extortion on eBay. I'm going to walk you through an actual case I had this past weekend. I'm going to explore every single avenue of this case, and I'm going to show you how to properly react if you are a victim of feedback extortion. So let's get started right now with screen number 1. I received this message Saturday night, August 21st at 18:30 p.m. Pacific time. That, I believe, is 8:30 p.m. my time here on the East Coast, Saturday night. Remember, in previous videos, I've always told you guys, if you're going to encounter any problem on eBay, negative feedback, any kind of buyer extortion, it's always going to be on the weekend. Let me read this message to you. Got the trim rings. 3 are decent, 1 not so much. Care to offer anything before I leave feedback? I prefer a replacement if possible. Thanks, Brendan. For those of you guys who do not know what feedback extortion is, that is when a buyer contacts you after a transaction is made and basically wants something that is not already included in the listing under undue threats of negative feedback extortion, which is the case here. But I feel I need to show you every avenue of this particular transaction because that's how I roll. I am very, very open in that way. So I'm going to next jump over to the listing itself. Here's the listing itself. Under the condition, it says daily driver condition, a few scratches, dents, dings, rings will fit fine. Also, in the body of the description, I also have it written down here. Dings and scratches, but all 4 will fit fine. And in your pictures right here, look, close-ups, you can clearly see scratches, dings and dents. See right there and right there. I was very forthcoming about it. Now, that being said, I decided to investigate this particular person and to see what kind of feedback he left for others. So let's check. The first thing I saw gave me a lot of concern. It says, defective right out of the box. Then jerking me around about refunds after they received it back. Lady on the phone was rude, one of the worst eBay experiences I've ever had. But, notice there's a green dot. Now, I can't prove this, but I theorize that the seller probably caved into his demands and that he revised the feedback to a green dot from a red dot, but left the original verbiage. As you can see here, he left a neutral. Here he left a negative. I have not left a negative feedback for a buyer in at least 5 years, for a seller rather, in at least 5 years, probably longer. So I knew by looking at this cat, I was going to be in some kind of a situation with him. Let me go back to the original screen. Let me just take a drink here. By the way, I'm recording this part of the video Thursday afternoon because I have so much to do with tomorrow's video. It's going to save me time this way. Now look, Saturday night is when he contacted me. Judging by his veiled threats right here and his history with other sellers, I know that when I respond to him, he's going to neg me. So I decided it was not in my best interest to respond to him right away on Saturday night. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to respond to him on Sunday either. I'm going to wait till Monday afternoon. I'm going to respond to him then because I know as soon as I respond to him, he's going to neg me. So here's what I responded. Hey, Brendan, I'm glad to see you got the item so quickly. You mentioned one of the rings had some blemishes, and if I may point out in the listing description, I said, quote, daily driver condition, a few scratches, dents, and dings. Rings will fit fine, unquote. I also provided close-up pictures of the scratches and blemishes in pictures number 6, 11, and 12. Naturally, if you're not satisfied, I offer 30-day returns, so that's not going to be a problem. All you have to do is open up a return and select just didn't like it. Ship the item back to me, and upon receipt, I'll give you a full refund. Should you have any questions, comments, or concerns, do not hesitate to reach out to me. All the best, Joe. This, in my opinion, is a very accurate and important response because it tells the buyer, I will not submit to feedback extortion, I will not give you a partial refund, and I will not send you another part. The items that I described correctly are what you purchased, it's what you were sent, and that's what we're going with. If you want to send them back, fine, but that's it. Guys, I swear to you, within 3 minutes, I think, 3 minutes, I got this. Told seller wasn't happy, then couldn't respond back. Now, I don't know how many responses he wants from me. This guy, in my opinion, is guilty of feedback extortion, and eBay also agrees with me because they immediately removed the feedback when they saw he was threatening me with the feedback extortion. This is something that's really increased on eBay this year, 2021, in my opinion. I have never seen so many nasty and abusive people as I have this year. And you're talking to a guy who's been selling on eBay for 22 years. Unbelievable, guys. The climate has really changed. Hey, most eBay buyers are great people. That hasn't changed. But I'm only talking about the small few, like this particular guy right here. They are really, really amping up their abuse. Needless to say, I blocked him. He'll never buy from me again as long as I live on the earth. But I thought this would be helpful to you guys in case you're ever a victim of feedback extortion. Now, hopefully, you'll know how to handle it. Let's get back to the regular video because I have a lot more interesting things to tell you. It's been a very, very interesting week, guys. I have another story to tell you about an abusive buyer. This is something that I don't think I've ever had happen to me before. A customer bought a set of trim rings similar to what I just showed you with the feedback extortion guy. He gets the trim rings, okay? Maybe a week later, maybe 2 weeks later, all of a sudden, I've got a big red dot. And the big red dot said, trim rings arrived scratched. This bothered me for several reasons. Number one, the description clearly said scratched, just like in the previous case I showed you. Number two, he never contacted me to work it out. Number three, I accept 30-day returns and I gladly take them back. Yet, he left me a big red dot and made no effort to return them. So the first thing I did was I called eBay concierge, explained the situation to the nice lady, showed her the listing like I just showed you guys where it says scratched and blemished. She could see that. She said, oh, no problem, Joe, it's buyer remorse. This guy is abusing the system. Bang. Feedback gets removed. About 3 or 4 days later, what happens? I get an item not as described case opened against me, the same guy. He's claiming items arrived damaged. He's making it sound like they got scratched in transit to him, even though it clearly said they were damaged in the listing. So, I offer 30-day returns, as you know, and I have no choice but to accept the return. But then I noticed something. And this is I hope this brings a smile to everybody's face the way it did to mine. I looked at the case, and the case was opened against me on August 21st. And it said on the bottom in small print, you have till August 26th to respond to this case. If you do not respond by the 26th, the customer has the right to get eBay involved, and if he does, it'll be a strike on your account. What do you think I did at that time? I did nothing. I sat back and I got my Fox News cup of life and I said, this is the ceremonial Fox News cup of life. Happy is he who drinks from it. Then I went about my business selling on eBay for the rest of the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th. Oh. At the penultimate moment, I accepted the return. A little old-fashioned payback, wouldn't you say? So, that being said, guys, I hope you thought that that was a funny story. And quite apropos, if I say. You know, something I mentioned, I made a video, a short one, a couple of days ago, and most of you guys didn't get to see it because the video only got about 300 views. I won a contest, and this is very impressive, and I'm not saying it a second time to brag. I'm saying it a second time, well, you'll understand as we go along. During eBay Open, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, if you, during the breakout session, went to one of the booths, you had a chance to enter contests to win something. And I went into the eBay shipping supplies contest, which was basically the only contest that I know of that was being held. And you were allowed one entry, I think. You just type your name, your eBay user ID, etc. And they were going to put you into a drawing. And to be honest with you, I didn't even think anything of it till a couple of days ago when I got a contact through eBay from eBay Shipping Supplies, which I showed on the video the other night. They informed me I was the grand prize winner. So I am getting $200 worth of free shipping supplies every month for the next year. You don't have to be a math wizard to know that comes out to $2,400 worth of free shipping supplies. I am now going to clap. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Guys, I have nothing to say, but thank you to eBay Shipping Supplies for this magnanimous gesture. This is great, and I will use every one of those boxes. I'm thinking about having a contest in the near future, so I can give back to you guys. I'm having a little trouble deciding the best way to do it. What I was thinking about doing is having a contest, and the winner would get, let's just say, $50 worth of free shipping supplies. But I'm not sure what the best way to do it would be, because I would be giving you the shipping supplies for free. But quite frankly, I can't afford to ship my supplies here all the way out to California or Texas or wherever you guys live, because as you know, these boxes are heavy and bulky. Now, I could ask you to pay the shipping, but that's kind of in bad taste, but not exactly. Or my third choice would be I could ask the winner what he wants specifically. I could tell the winner to go to the eBay shipping supplies store and pick out $50 worth of items and send me the item numbers by email. And then when I get my quarterly coupon, I could just ship them directly to the winner's house. Using my quarterly coupon, I just change the address from my address to the winner's address. So if you guys think this is a good idea and you have some interest in it, let me know in the comments section. Let me know what you think the best choice would be to make it easiest for myself and for you guys, And you're all good sellers, and I want to show my appreciation. You're out here every Friday night. You watch my videos. You comment. You give me a thumbs up. Yeah. So yeah, that's that. And what else do we have? Where are we time-wise? Ooh, okay. Listen, guys, I guess I better bring this to a close now. I've covered a lot of material, and quite frankly, it took me a bit of time to edit this. But always remember that I'm Crazy New York Driver and you're not. Thank you for watching this video. Every Friday night, I make these videos to try and help you stay successful on eBay. If you think I'm doing a good job, please leave me a thumbs up. It tells me I'm on point and appreciated. If you don't think I did a good job, tell me in the comment section what you want me to hit up, and I'll be more than happy to do it next week. Remember, I'm a seller friend, not a seller critic or skeptic of any kind. I've solved a lot of problems. I'm still making money online. I've never worn a mask on my videos, and I never will. I've never distorted my voice because I feel that's dishonest and unscrupulous. So yeah, I'm a CEO and a CFO of my own company. That being said, go out there, make a ton of money on eBay, rock on, and peace! Sales were very good this week. I have no complaints. I did get, what did I get for returns? I got a few returns. Returns have been on the increase. I don't really mind legitimate returns, but these returns that are off the eBay system piss me off like you wouldn't believe. And also, of course, the buyers that lie, the sketchy ones that claim not as described or whatever. But I am very happy to say that with feedback extortion, eBay will back us up. This is not the first time this has happened to me, but thankfully it hasn't happened a lot. So I guess that's all I got to say tonight. Guys, I want to hear your comments. I need them. It'll give me fodder for next week's video. Always remember, for God's sakes, don't be bitchy! Yeah!